Roar!
Roar!
Whoa!
Hello children, that was seriously good roaring I heard. I also saw a very scary lion. We're going to see him later, but don't worry, something's happened to him. What we're going to talk about today is Daniel. Now he's serving a new king called Darius the Great, and that is a king of Persia. And Darius the Great had three big advisors. Daniel and two others. And the two others didn't like Daniel because Daniel was a bit different. He was from Judah and he worshipped God. They didn't. Also, they didn't like the fact that Darius the Great liked Daniel very much, and Daniel did nothing wrong. So they tried to find some way of getting rid of Daniel. And they couldn't think until they realised Daniel prayed quite openly to God 3 times a day. So they made a law which said nobody for 30 days could worship any gods except Darius. They could worship Darius, but no one else. Well, what did Daniel do? Daniel kept on praying. And everybody saw him pray. So the two advisors were really pleased, and they went to Darius and said, this law that you signed means Daniel has broken it. And what have we got to do? We've got to put him in a den of lions. That was the penalty. Well, Darius liked Daniel very much, and he was shocked that he'd signed this decree, but he had, and he had to stick with it. So he reluctantly took Daniel down to the den of lions. And he said to Daniel, your God will protect you, and I have treated you very badly. I hope your God treats you better. Next, we're going to hear about the lion that didn't roar. So tune in and see if you can see the lion again. Okay. Hello, this is Lenny the lion. He's going to tell you his story. Hello, I'm Lenny the lion. I'm normally very scary, but do you know something's happened? I don't know what it was. We were all ready. Us lads hadn't eaten for a week. And we heard that there was a very tasty dish coming. A man called Daniel. They said he'd broken a new law, but Darius liked Daniel, and he was upset that he was being killed and being fed to the lions. The law he'd broken was something about praying to a god. Now that's quite important in this story. We were ready. I could roar. I was so hungry. Daniel was led in, and all of a sudden, my mouth got shut. I actually felt a bit like I was going to cry. I became powerless, a bit like a pussycat more than a big lion. And there was an angel there as well. I actually laid down so that Daniel came close and snuggled up to me. It was quite nice. and I heard him praying to his God. And boy, this God must be the real one to make us lions so meek and mild. Daniel even gave me a pat on the back and went on praying. He truly is a good man, and pleased we didn't eat him. Next morning, the mighty Darius came in, and he came down, and he was crying with joy because we hadn't eaten him. He told everyone that Daniel's God had saved him, and that this God, the God of the God of the Jews, was the living God, and that he should be obeyed. By the way, don't worry, I'm not going to go hungry, because there might be a couple more of those advisors going to be put on the menu tonight. Bye-bye. That was a bit of fun to tell the story about the lion that couldn't roar. But one of the things I remember from when I heard that story the first time when I was young was that there's an expression to remember, and it is dare to be a Daniel. And dare to be a Daniel is part of a song that I hope we can sing at some point. And it's dare to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose firm, dare to make it known. So will you dare to be a Daniel and stand up for God? Because he will protect you just like he did Daniel. Bye-bye.